Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado, and today I have another project from the Parisian suite out of the new mini catalog for spring. This is such a beautiful set, and I wanted to put this card together. It's a simple card, and yet the impact I think is pretty good. So let's just get started. Here is my project for the day. Isn't that just a pretty card? And this paper that is part of the Parisian suite, and let's see if I can tell you exactly what it's called. It's called Parisian Blossoms Specialty Designer Series paper. And this paper is foiled, but it's foiled in champagne and not in gold. Now the gold works with it most of the time, but I did happen to have some champagne foil paper on hand, so I took my hand at cutting out this beautiful label, and that comes from our dies that are called, they are called the Detail Bands dies. And so I cut that out of that beautiful champagne foil, and it matches perfectly with this card. So what you need to make this card, and this could say happy birthday, could say anything, but I thought congratulations was kind of a nice sentiment. I used Pool Party, which is one of the complementary colors for this suite, and I have, that's my base, Pool Party, and it's 8.5 by 5.5 scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I have 2 pieces of Petal Pink. This one is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's for the outside of the card. And this one is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and that's for the inside of the card. Here's the decoration I put on the inside of the card. So I have a strip of that champagne foil for the inside that is 1/2 inch by 5 1/4, and then I have a piece of this beautiful designer series paper, and this piece is cut 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and that allows us to see a good bit of the pink and the blue, this beautiful not Coastal Cabana, Pool Party around the edge, and I think offers some, I just think it's stunning. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a little bit to do here. Now I used my detail. Okay, well, I had a little interruption there, so and I put my phone on airplane mode, so that shouldn't happen again. So I think where we were was I pulled my item out of my die, and then we have our pieces here to put the card together, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I've selected the Forever Blossoms stamp, which is the stamp set that goes with the paper, and I'm using this little flower here. On the inside you can see I stamped a couple of those flowers, and I did that in basic gray, and then I also have my congratulations done here on the outside, and I did that in Pool Party. So I've got my 2 inks here, and I suppose for consistency you could do both in the same color, but I kind of liked the congratulations in the Pool Party, and I wanted a little bit more color. So I'm going to grab my Pierce mat, go ahead and put my stamp on. This is congratulations, and this congratulations comes out of the beautiful bouquet. I go to this one so many times. It's got happy birthday, it's got happy wedding, thanks, congratulations, friend, anniversary. It's just got a lot of things, and there's a lot of things oriented to weddings in this one as well. And this set says weddings to me. But here we go with our congratulations, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get that on here straight. I hope my head doesn't get in the video here. It might, as I get this centered. And I guess we'll find out here in a second whether or not that is straight. There we go. Not too bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so then on the inside of the card, on this little bit of pink, I'm going to use my basic gray. When I first went to this, because there's the detail on these flowers is kind of a darker gray on the inside of these, and I thought that this basic gray would match it, and I was afraid it was going to be a little bit too dark, so I stamped off the first time, and it's really not. It's just perfect. So I'm putting a couple of these flower stamps right down here at the bottom of the card, and that is all of the stamping for this one. And set my stamps over here, and then I'm ready to add my strip for the inside of this card on the edge here. And this is one of those older foils that has that plastic coating on the back, so you really need to use a strip tape runner. And the Stampin' Up! One is perfect. And it wants to stick about half of the time. It's hard to get it to stick down. And if you have a lot of trouble, I'm not convinced that's going to stay put. So I'm going to take a few glue dots and put them on here in strategic places. One at the very top and one at the bottom, and a couple places where the glue didn't stick in the middle, because I want to make sure that this stays put. So I'm probably going to use 4 or 5 of these. Decided on this one to put my strip on this other side just to be a little bit different. And I'm going to turn this over so that I can see this, so that I can get it straight. And this strip is cut about a 1/2 inch, and there we go. That's on there and pretty straight. Now I can add my snail on around the card and put that into place. And there we go. We have our front of our inside of our card all finished. Okay, now the outside of the card, the first thing I want to do is adhere this little sentiment to the center of my medallion here. And goes in place with a little tiny margin kind of all the way around, and then push that into place. Now, I did raise this on dimensionals, which was a little tricky in that that little piece just doesn't want to go away. Okay, so I put dimensionals on the center piece here, on the top, bottom, and middle. And I did this way because I don't want it to rock. Then I took my mini dimensionals and I cut one in half. And I put one right on the edge of the band on that side, and one right on the edge of the band on this side. Now, when I put this in place, this is designed to go all the way across your card front. And once I take off the release papers, this back is going to be real sticky, so I'm just going to put it here on my silicone mat because we've got to put these other pieces together. So this piece gets centered, this designer series paper gets centered on here, and I'm thinking there's a little gap, and I'd rather have that towards the bottom than the top. And getting this centered on this piece, and then putting my detail band across here before I put this on my card. So the trick is to get this roughly where you want it, and I want it just a little bit above center, and that looks pretty good to me. And then you can center these two pieces here on your card front to get it set exactly where you want it. Then put that down into place, and then these pieces will just fold over to the back of the card just like a piece of ribbon would. But we've got our dimensionals right under here and all across here, so I do still get a raised dimension on the card. The only trick is once you put your dimensionals down, you pretty well want to have that on there straight. That looks pretty good to me. So now this is ready to go on the front of this card, and we'll be all finished with this one unless we decide to add any more bling or decoration. And I don't know, with the champagne foil, probably don't need anything more. Okay, so this is now ready to go on the front of my card. Here we go with a nice border, and we can let it go at that, or we can add a little bit of bling. And we've got several choices here. These are the Petal Pink rhinestone gems. Those are certainly pretty. You know, we also have these holiday gems, and I'm thinking this blue in here will just do nicely on here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put just maybe one, just that one rhinestone there to dress up the front of the card. And there we have our project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. It would be lovely to have you on my team. And let's see, it's December, mid-December, so we have a little while yet. And my prize draw for the month is a bundle of your choice out of the new mini spring catalog. And you'll find some absolutely wonderful bundles in there. And I worked, this is the second card I've done with this suite. So I'll probably move on to either one of the Celebration stamp sets and make a card, or move on to yet another one of the suites. In any case, I hope the holiday rush isn't taking you and making you too crazy. So I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. I'm on a little reduced schedule just this week and next, so it's Tuesday and Friday. See you soon. Bye.